Hello students. Today we are going to see a new chapter which is computer organization. Okay. So in this chapter we are going to see the important part of a computer which is known as microprocessor. We are going to see a detailed description about this microprocessor, what are the types of microprocessor, what are the RAMs. Okay, so we'll go into this learning objective to know the uh, organization or of the computer components and their interconnection. Okay, so how the memory or how the processor is being connected to the motherboard or computer is going to be seen in this chapter. Next is to know the processor and their characteristics. So what is processor and what are the characteristics of processor? Everything we are going to see here. To know the importance of importance of memory devices and their role in the computer. So we are going to see the importance of memory. So how it is important uh, in an electronic device. So we are going to see that. And to explore RAM means random access memory and ROM means read only memory. So there are two small difference between that. So we'll see that in detail in the forthcoming classes and differentiate each one of them. To know about cache memory and how it improves the performance of the computer. To know the secondary devices and their usage. Okay, so what are the secondary devices that can be connected to the computer, and so that how can you can use the computers efficiently is being seen in this topic. Okay, so to know about the ports and interfaces so that external devices can be connected. So there are some ports in such a way that you can connect different kinds of hardware to the computer. Okay, so you can see that nowadays standardly used port is USB port. Okay, USB means full form universal serial bus. Okay, so it is not commonly used uh, interconnection port. Okay, so there are mini USB port, micro USB port. In that it contains type A, type B and type C. So here you can see that most of the mobile chargers are micro USB chargers, but nowadays you can see type C chargers in iPhones and most of the have costliest or expensive mobile phones. So first of all, we are going to see the introduction. Computer organization deals with the hardware components of a computer system. Okay, so we are going to see the arrangement of computer hardware in such a way that it can be effectively arranged and reduce the latency or delay of the processor. Okay, so here you can see that it includes input and output devices, central processing unit, storage devices, and primary memory. It concerned with how the various components of the computer hardware operates. It also deals with how they are interconnected to the implement and architectural specification. The term computer organization looks similar to the term computer architecture, but the computer architecture deals with the engineering consideration involved in designing a computer. On the other hand, computer organization deals with the uh, hardware components and their transference that are transparent to the program. Okay, so this is an important 3 mark. Okay, differentiate between computer organization and computer architecture. So computer architecture is entirely different from computer organization. Computer architecture means it is designing the system by using by means of the suitable situation it is going to work. But organization means you can see that it is only depend upon the hardware which uh, which deals with the computer software engineer. Okay, so next is basics of microprocessor. The CPU of the CPU is the major component of the computer which performs all tasks. Okay, so the CPU, central processing unit, there will be a tower next to your computer, so that is known as CPU. So the CPU consists of motherboard, processor, RAM, hard disk, SMPS. So these are all the different components that are present in the computer CPU. So this computer organization deals with this kind of components that are present inside the computer. You can reduce the space, and to increase the efficiency of the computer can be dealt with uh, this chapter. So the CPU major component, the CPU is the major component of the computer which performs all tasks. This is related by the microprocessor, which is an integrated circuit. So microprocessor is an IC. IC means so many gates, which means logic gates. So many gates are arranged closer to each other so that they will be formed a microprocessor. Microprocessor is the brain of the computer. Okay, so whatever action you tell to do in the CPU, then this microprocessor will do it, and you will be getting a required output. Okay, so the microprocessor is the programmable multipurpose silicon chip. So it is a silicon chip that can be reprogrammed or reconfigured. It is driven by clock pulse. It accepts inputs as a binary data, and after processing, it provides the output as per the instruction stored in the memory. A block diagram of a microprocessor based system is shown in figure 3.1. Okay, so this microprocessor is a chip. Okay, it's a chip that is connected to the computer so that you can do your work efficiently. Okay, so it accepts clock pulse. What is meant by clock pulse? Okay, clock pulse is the input that is given to the microprocessor. So here you can see the diagram here, input microprocessor, and it cooperates with memory to get the instruction, and after the execution of all the instruction it will display you the output in output device. Okay, so most of the controlling processor and most of the calculation work is done by using this ALU. So microprocessor is made up of three main units. They are arithmetic and logical unit, control unit, and register. Okay, so this arithmetic and logical unit is responsible for addition and and so on. Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, one's complement or two's complement, or these are all the different types of input that is given to the microprocessor, and it will process it and you will get the required answer. So the second thing is control unit. So the control unit controls all the parts which are connected to the computer. So next is register. Register is a simple storage unit. Okay, so this is a simple storage unit. So you can uh, you can control the parts by using this control unit. Next is register. Register is an internal memory. So it is an memory unit. So it contains very small amount of memory. So you can store some bits or bytes. Okay. So that is the purpose of register. Next is characteristics of memory. Sorry, microprocessor. It consists of three performance. The microprocessor performance depend on the following characteristics: clock speed, instruction set, and word size. Okay, clock speed means number of instruction per second. Okay, so each processor can handle different kinds of instruction per second. Okay, say for example Intel Pentium 4. Okay, I have the picture for you. So this is a picture of processor. Okay, so this is the picture of a processor. Here you can see that it consists of so many dots. Okay, so these are all the terminals that are available in ICs. Okay, so here in your book you can see that there is an image. Okay, so this is a small IC, but the image which I have shown you is the larger IC, which will be which will have so many legs like here. Okay, so here you can see that so many small lines or small circuit legs are available at the end of the processor, but here you can see that it consists of dots. Okay, so many dots are available here, so that it acts as a legs of that particular microprocessor. So we are seeing different types of microprocessor. Sorry, yes, characteristics of microprocessor. So first thing is clock speed. So clock speed is nothing but every microprocessor has an internal clock that regulates the uh, speed of the execution, which it executes the instruction. The speed at which the microprocessor executes the instruction is called clock speed. Okay, so it's an important to mark what is clock speed means. At the speed at which the microprocessor executes the instruction is known as clock speed. So next is, it is usually you can see that megapixel, gigahertz, gigahertz, megahertz, like that. Okay, so megahertz is a smaller measurement, and gigahertz is a larger measurement. Okay, so the hertz means you can see that it is a name of a scientist who invented the frequency. Okay, frequency means number of occurrence per minute. Okay, so but nowadays you can see that the computers are executing instruction, so number of uh, instruction executed per per second is known as hertz or frequency in computer or clock speed. So next is instruction set. Computer which is given to the command which is given to the computer to perform a operation on a data is called instruction. Okay, so the instruction is the software command that is given to the computer so that it will execute it and give you the proper output. So basic set of machine level instructions that are a microprocessor is defined to execute is called instruction set. Okay, instruction set means uh, a collection of instruction or commands that has to be given to the computer or microprocessor to do its regular regular work without any hesitation. So instruction set carries out the following types of operation: data transfer, arithmetic operation, logical operation, control flow, input and output. Okay, so this instruction set carries or this instruction set is responsible for data transfer, arithmetic operation, logical operation, control flow, and input and output. So the next thing is word size. The number of bits that can be processed by the processor is in a single instruction is known as word size. Okay, it's called as word size. So this word size is a measurement unit that is used to measure number of instruction executed in the processor. Determine the amount of RAM that can be accessed by a micro microprocessor. So this microprocessor cannot act on its own. Okay, it needs help of the RAM, power, and everything, so that it can access smoothly. Okay, the central processing unit CPU as a memory data register (MDR), memory data register, and memory address register. So memory data register is only handles the data which is stored inside the register, but memory address register is responsible for the address which contains more number of values, and you can see that this MAR memory address register is for uh, calculation of memories in the device. So the MDR, the memory data register, keeps the data with with the transfer between the memories and the CPU. The program counter is a special register in the CPU which always keeps the address of the next instruction. Okay, so this is also an important to mark uh, what is meant by program counter. Okay, it is a special purpose instruction. Sorry, it is a special purpose instruction set that is used to get the address of the next instruction that has to be executed. So this is the program counter. So the program counter, next is the arithmetic and logical unit of CPU place the address of the memory to be fetched into the memory address register. Okay, so this memory address register is responsible for storing um, more number of data. So the bus is a collection of wire used to communicate between the internal components of the computer. Okay, so here you can see that buses. Okay, nowadays a bus is a collection of wires used to communicate between the internal components of the computer. So bus is a wire. Okay, so it is a wire that is a collection of wire. Say for example, it will be having a strip of wires. Okay, so 4 to 5 wires connected in a strip, so that the data will be transferred simultaneously in each wires. Okay, So how this data is transferred, here you can see that there's do you know, okay, if 5 voltage is applied at one end of the wire, then other end also receives 5 voltage, okay. In the same way, the bus and wire and the binary data or voltage is being transferred, okay. If a 5 voltage is received at one end, then it is considered as 1. If no voltage is received at the end, then it is considered as 0, okay. So this is the data has been transferred. This is the method by which data is being transferred from one part of the computer to another part of the computer. So this read operation transfers the data from word to memory data register. The write operation transfers the data from memory data registers to the word, okay. So the word is the RAM. Word in the RAM has the same size or number of bits as the number of MDR, memory data register. If the processor is an 8-bit processor like Intel 8085, its MDR and the word in the RAM must have 8 bits, okay. So here you can see that the word is a number of bits that can be processed by the processor, um, but MDR is memory data register. So memory data register must be equal to the number of datas that can be processed by the computer. So sorry, processed by the processor. So this is so that's why you can see that the number of bits cannot be eliminated, okay, since you can see that number of MDR is less than the number of word means, then you can see that some of the data will be missing. So to avoid this missing of data, they will be using this equal number of word and equal number of MDR. So with this we'll finish the class today. We'll see the different types of microprocessor in the next class. Thank you, students.